I'm Ted Rall. John Kiriakou is here,
Happy
which
birthday,
means
Ted.
if it's Ted Rall and John Kiriakou, it means it's time for DeProgram, 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thanks for putting up with the long weekend. Thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties, which are 100% my fault. I tried to arrange it all on the road today from a Burger King in Grove City, Pennsylvania.
Oh, and not Grove City.
I clicked the wrong thing, just north of. Yeah, those are your stomping grounds.
Did you at least go to the outlet mall?
I stayed directly across the street at a Sweets Plus or something like that, right across the street from the factory outlet. I was tempted to pop over to see if Banana Republic had any black underwear, which are my favorite, but I just was too tired and I decided to go for a swim instead. Factory. Thank you. It's good to be back. All right, John, we got lots to talk about. I guess right before, I know that you're very excited about the news that Travis Kelce finally is putting a ring on Taylor Swift and making her an honest woman.
You know what, Ted? When I saw that in the Washington Post, I read the article and I was compelled to comment. I said, I'm a 61-year-old straight white man, and this article makes me very happy.
Oh, it does?
I just, for reasons I can't even articulate, I like them both.
Oh, good.
I saw her once. I was in a restaurant in West Hollywood years ago, 2015 or 2016. She was having she was having lunch with her parents who were divorced, and you would never have known it, and with what looked like a set of grandparents. And people treated her so respectfully. Nobody interrupted her. Nobody, asked for an autograph or a picture. And they had a nice time together. It was kind of nice. Yeah, I liked her. I cannot name a single one of her songs.
No, nor can I. Not to save my life. Not to save the world. Not to bring peace to Ukraine. Not to save the Gazans. Can't name a single one of her songs. I don't think I could name a single lyric.
Nor can I.
That says something about the state of how incredibly atomized the music and cultural scenes are, for sure. My favorite celebrity couple of that type was Tom Green when he was married to Drew Barrymore. I saw them at Odeon in Lower Manhattan, and they were so cute. I really wanted them to work out. They were like a downscale version of Arthur Miller marrying Marilyn Monroe. But, it was not meant to be. No. That's a sad whole story. We could do a whole show on that. Well, I could do a whole show on that. You would leave. Okay, so also I wanted to I want to know how seriously you take Israel's explanation for why they killed those 20 people at the hospital with a double tap strike, including 5 journalists. Their excuse is that they were attacking a vicious, cruel Hamas camera.
God.
At least it wasn't an iPod.
20 people. They killed 20 people, including 5 journalists, one of whom was with the Associated Press. Mm-hmm. And they know that they can do this because nobody's going to ever complain. The White House isn't going to tell them to stop. The United Nations might say something. They just ignore the United Nations. So they can do anything they want, murder anybody they want, kill as many journalists or children or elderly or women or civilians or whatever. They don't care. Nobody's going to stop them. It makes me sick to my stomach.
The thing is, John, Israel, the food's not really that good. No. The democracy is definitely not that good. The politics are very, very bad. But, I could always count on the Israelis to be good at lying. And it seems like I was telling Robbie before we came on, they're not even trying anymore. No. I mean, we were going after a camera. A camera
with a double tap strike.
Right.
A double tap.
A camera. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outrageous.
I mean, maybe you could have just sent a guy with a screwdriver. I know a guy.
Yeah.
My super could take care of that. I tip him every Christmas. It's fine. Oh my God, just so lame. All right, so what do we want to talk? I guess we should I am very interested in this Lisa Cook situation.
I am too.
The Federal Reserve Bank has a board composed of 12 members, of whom 7 are regional governors, one of whom is Lisa Cook, appointed by Joe Biden. Donald Trump has had a hard-on for the Fed not cutting interest rates quickly enough. I happen to, by the way, be sympathetic to the president on this point. I do think that the Fed is generally too slow to cut interest rates.
Very, very conservative.
And it's like, and they tend to allow unemployment to get out of control. They're more worried about inflation than unemployment, which in my view is the wrong priority. I think the president is right about wanting lower interest rates, not just because it would juice the economy, but because it really would be the right balance. But that said, he doesn't really have the ability to fire Lisa Cook, as he's just done, without cause. But the problem is that what constitutes cause is really nebulous. And
it's never been defined in the law.
Right. And so the question is it cause, like just cause for firing someone who works at Wendy's? Is it just cause, sort of like what John Kiriakou and Ted Rall would say is just cause? No one knows. And the accusation here is, and this is rich coming from Donald Trump, that she committed mortgage fraud by basically saying that she had 2 or maybe 3 primary residents all at the same time in order to get maybe shave an eighth or a quarter of a point off of her mortgage. It's not proven. That's just an allegation.
And she denies it outright.
She does, and she's suing now to try to keep her job.
She hired Abby Lowell, who, interestingly enough, in addition to being an A-list criminal defense attorney, is Jared Kushner's attorney.
That's interesting. And the thing is about it is that, look, here's the thing. I mean, this is literally, you're talking about the underpinnings. We could argue about whether this should be true, but the fact is that the Federal Reserve Bank is the underpinning of the economy. I mean, they control the money supply. They control short and medium and long-term interest rates. They control the Reserve Bank status of the U.S. dollar around the world. I mean, if they are viewed as tainted in any way, that could have dramatic implications on global financial markets. I mean, this could be the most dangerous thing Donald Trump can do.
It could be. And let's look at some of the details, too. These appointments to the Fed board are 14-year terms, okay? And they're staggered, so they're supposed to be apolitical. She is the first Black woman who has ever been named to the Fed board. And her credentials...
That's why she's got to be fired.
Right. Her credentials are very impressive.
Because white guys have never fucked up the economy.
Right, or never did anything unethical. She got a bachelor's degree in economics from Spelman. Then she went to, it was either Cambridge or Oxford. I think it was Oxford, on a Marshall Scholarship. Then came back and got a PhD at UCalc Berkeley. She taught first at Michigan State and then at Harvard, joined the Council of Economic Advisors in the Obama administration, back to Harvard, and then Biden appointed her to the Fed. You're right about this, about the law. The law says a Fed governor can be fired for cause, but cause has never been delineated in the law.
But there's case law.
There's case law, but the case law is from the 1930s, and it didn't involve the Fed. It involved a similarly appointed federal commission. So she just says outright, he says that she claimed 2 residences in the same year, one in Atlanta, one in, I think, Manhattan. And she just says, no, I didn't. She didn't say, well, wait a minute. Now, let me explain. There was this situation. She didn't say any of that. She said, nope, didn't do it. Didn't do it, and he can't fire me. So today she went to work like a normal day and is challenging him to push forward. She's speaking through Abby Lowell now, which is really the wise thing to do. And we'll just see how it plays out. This is all about him wanting the Fed to cut interest rates. You remember he took a tour of the Fed building. I don't know when the last time you were in Washington was, Ted, if it was in the last, it was in the last year because we went out to Hamilton. Yeah. But not the play, the bar, Hamilton. So
far more important.
Yes. And excellent sushi. You'd never know it. It's not. Anyway, so if you've been past the Fed, it's down to the bare concrete facade, or it has been. They're rebuilding it literally from scratch. They're just keeping the facade. So Donald Trump, over the last couple of months, was making noise about firing Jerome Powell, which you also cannot do unless it's for cause. And so Trump tried.
Although it's odd because the president appoints the
Correct.
members of the Fed. So
Yes.
it's strange that you can hire, but you can't fire.
Can't fire. And they do that to try to make it so that they're not subject to political pressure to raise or lower interest rates.
Right. So it's kind of like the Supreme Court.
Kind of like the Supreme Court, yes. So anyway, Trump took a tour of the partially rebuilt Fed building with the idea being, I'm going to criticize the way this building is being rebuilt. I'm going to say that money's being wasted. I'm going to say that it's Powell's fault so I can fire him.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him the tour, and it's like, actually, this looks pretty good. And so he backed off.
Well, not to mention also Powell called him out. Like he said, oh, it costs more. And Powell's like, no, you're looking at the stuff that was done years ago, and you're adding that to what we're doing now. Those numbers are apples and oranges. Trump didn't admit it. Of course, he never admits being wrong, but he knew he was wrong. He was sent out there with the wrong information, which is why Jerome Powell survives. So this is obviously, it makes less of a splash to get rid of her, one member, than it does to get rid of the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, which could have really spooked some markets globally.
Yes.
This is I don't know, I think it's super interesting. I mean, there's the Fed is a controversial institution, and it's not like it's in the Constitution. One of the listeners, said, "Oh, is this in the Constitution?" Like, no. The Federal Reserve came into being after the 1913 under Woodrow Wilson.
That's right. Under Wilson. That's right.
And it was just basically meant to, and it became like a standard thing. But for a long time, I mean, cities and states and private banks issued their own currency, and kind of like
they're very collectible now.
That's true. I like the fractional currency.
I do too.
It kind of like worked out, right? It's like it kind of worked out, except when there was a panic and everyone went crazy and printed tons of money. But yeah, this is exactly what I was going to say. USC Arrow 21 says Trump being upset about mortgage fraud is like OJ being upset about murder. Happy birthday, have a beer on me. Thank you. I will. Much appreciated. And thanks for the generous happy birthday contribution. I mean, that's right. Donald Trump just got rid of his $450 million, dunning, but we know he committed mortgage fraud. Yeah. Well, or lending fraud anyway.
Lending fraud. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same exact thing. He signed loan applications that were full of lies, which, by the way, as a former banker, I will say is routine. But,
it is. A lot of people do it. And this is Trump's thing right now. He's also accused Adam Schiff of mortgage fraud and Letitia James of mortgage fraud. So we'll see if he gets any mileage out of it.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, it's just hilarious. I mean, it's like, I know I am, but what are you? Right. It's just hilarious.
Wow. Yeah. A quarter of 1% in one day. That is huge.
That is a big deal. Yeah. So I guess the question now is, that's right. What nonsense says $450 million plus the compound interest, right? Like every day it was something insane, like $12,000 or something. I mean, can't even imagine. But I can imagine because I have a judgment like that piling up against me over at the LA Times. Come and get me, fuckers. I'm right here. But anyway.
Oh my God.
So. So do we want to talk? And do we have anything more to say about that? I mean, she's going to sue. Yeah. This is a Mexican standoff, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Is she currently a Fed governor in your opinion?
Yes. I in my opinion, yes. There's been no court to order her out for cause. There's been no finding that she's committed any crime or violated any regulation. And the president just can't fire people. I can't even talk. Cannot fire people arbitrarily from the Fed.
I mean, also, I got to tell you, I mean, I know this is like the most obvious thing in the world, but I'm kind of good at that sometimes. I mean, this is just a presidency by executive order. That's all it is. I mean, does he ever sign bills anymore?
No.
Does he ever propose
Congress doesn't
bills?
pass any bills.
What? Why don't we send Congress home?
And you know what's funny to me about that,
them.
Ted, is Republicans used to lose their minds when Barack Obama would sign an executive order. I remember night after night after night, Fox News just screaming about all these executive orders. Well, Trump has dwarfed the number of executive orders that Obama ever signed. And listen, I hate Barack Obama more than anybody else I've ever encountered in life. So this is not a defense of Barack Obama.
You have your reasons.
I have my personal reasons. That's right. So it's not a defense of Barack Obama. It's an observation that Congress is impotent and Donald Trump rules by decree, which is just the way he likes it.
It's just bizarre. And I guess no end in sight, right? That's all. I mean, this must have been basically, I have to admit, I didn't read Project 2025. I'm beginning to wish I had. I probably should. I remember thinking it was a Democratic fever dream.
Right.
And the thing where they were completely paranoid, because after all, they were so full of shit about so much, like Russiagate. Who could listen to anything they had to say?
Right.
It all turned out a lot, but this turned out to be true. That's the problem. They're totally the boys who cried wolf. You want to talk about Australia?
Yeah, let's talk about Australia. Big moves down there.
Yeah, so I don't even understand. The Aussies are accusing Iran of basically directing arson attacks against a synagogue and a Jewish business. Mm-hmm. The Aussies say they're so sure that they recalled their ambassador from Australia, from Tehran, and they are expelling the Iranian ambassador from Canberra, their capital.
Yeah, Canberra.
Mm-hmm. And so Prime Minister Albanese is saying that basically this is an attempt to disrupt Australian society, and they're blaming the Revolutionary Guards part of the Iranian government, which are Australia and the U.S. designate a terrorist organization. That's a little rich, but what do you make of all this? Is this paranoia, or do you think there's anything here?
It's not paranoia. My friend is going to be very angry with me for saying this, mm-hmm. because she happens to be Iranian, but the Iranians do stuff like this. And the problem is, and I actually answered this on a Q&A the other day on my other podcast. Somebody asked me, is the Iranian intelligence service any good? And I said, no, it's not. They do stupid, illegal shit, and they get caught all the time.
Mukhabarat.
Exactly. And well, that's the Arabic name for it. But yeah, it's the same thing. The Ministry of Intelligence and Security, MOIS. They're just bad at it, and they'll get these orders to go do something and blame the Jews, or go kill this group of Americans or whatever, and they do it, and then they get caught all the time.
I heard today the Iranian. An Iranian official ministry spokesperson saying, well, anti-Semitism, that's a Western thing. We don't do that in Iran. We don't know what you're talking about.
They all say that. Yeah. And listen, it's true that in Iran, there are very healthy, robust Christian communities, Jewish communities, mm-hmm. synagogues that have been practicing, in the same place every week for the last 300 years. That's all true. We're not talking about Iranian Jews and Iranian Christians, right? We're talking about Iranian intelligence activities in Western countries. For example, the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Research, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, hired a couple of Czech organized crime morons to go to Canada and to Brooklyn and to shoot a couple of Iranian journalists, right? An Iranian American, an Iranian Canadian, or two. I don't remember the details anymore. But these idiots got caught. And as soon as they got caught, They said, oh, yeah, we don't have any beef with these people. The Iranians hired us to do it. And here's the name of the guy that hired us. And here's the money that they gave us. They confessed to everything. And they've been prosecuted. I got such incredible pushback from my Iranian friends saying, oh, you're falling right into the U.S. plot, the U.S. trap to convince you that the Iranians are bad. No. As Dana Albrecht just pointed out, all governments do this kind of stupid criminal stuff. All of them. And we can't just stand here and say, oh, the U.S. government had a torture program and a private prison, secret prison program and rendition program. Like nobody else's government's ever done anything. Well, the Iranian government does the same kind of things, and they get caught. And that's what
how do they get caught? How do you think they got caught?
Terrible tradecraft, number one. It used to be an ongoing joke at the CIA. They all use like their own cell phones. Like, I'm going to go carry out the terrorist plot tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And it's like, what are you doing, you idiot? And then NSA calls and says, listen, we need to warn such and such a country. So anyway, they're just really, really bad at their tradecraft. People ask me all the time. I get the question, what are the best intelligence services in the Middle East? You say, well, of course, the Mossad, for all intents and purposes, the Mossad is in a class by itself. Usually. The Jordanians are incredible. The Egyptians are incredible, right? We could take lessons from those services. The Iranians are not a part of that conversation. They're awful. And it's not like they have close enough relations with the Russians or the Chinese that those services would train them. They just wing it. So yeah, when I saw this report in the Times last night, I thought to myself, yeah, sure, I can see it.
It passes the smell test.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yep. All right, let's talk about France. So the government there is teetering on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
So Prime Minister Francois Bayrou has decided to call for a confidence vote on September 8th, just in a couple of weeks. Very dangerous. According to all the analysts, there's roughly a 70% chance that his government will fall apart. Basically, this all comes down to a new budget for 2026 that has what the French love more than anything else, lots of budget cuts to social programs. They are, as you can predict, this is a place where I remember one time they tried to increase college tuition by $200 a year, and like a city burned. So, I don't know what they're thinking when they try this, but they always do. And so anyway, the left is going absolutely crazy. The socialist leader, although the Socialist Party is a fragile, tiny, sliver of its former self, Olivier Faure, said it's completely unthinkable to support the existing government. The Greens, the Communists, and the La France Insoumise, which is like France Unbound, is Jean-Luc Mélenchon, which is basically like Bernie Sanders on acid. Mm-hmm. They're furious, and there's no way they're going to go along. The far right, which they have 123 seats in the parliament. This is Le Pen's party, and she's feeling pretty spicy ever since the court said that she can't run for president, even though she would be most likely to win the presidency at this point. She and Jordan Bardella, her protege, say it's the end, that they will not save them at all. There's a new block everything movement. Gotta love that. Bloquons tout. Anyway, basically you can see that there's going to be major protests, maybe riots. Stock market's down between 1.5 and 2 percentage points today. Bonds are down. Basically, everyone can sort of see the crisis coming. John, why did he call for a confidence vote? I mean, I guess that's sort of the purpose. When you're on the ropes, it's kind of like, I need, either get rid of me or save me, right? That's what this is for.
Yeah, seriously. I think he did it, and you're more of an expert than I am, Ted, but I think he did it because he's unable to govern otherwise. Yeah. France has had this long line now of very weak, in some cases, coalition governments They don't have operating majorities. They can't get major legislation passed. He's stuck. And this might be an opportunity to blame others for his inability to govern. I was going to ask you, if you don't mind,
sure,
what you think the real story is behind this. I mean, it's far deeper than what they're telling the media. Why is it that France is so divided right now that it just can't put together a government that can function?
Well, it's a perfect storm, in my opinion, John. So it kind of in the same way, if you think of one of the analogies of the reason that the Democrats are in trouble, one of the major reasons is that they've sidelined their progressive base. I mean, 70 or 60% of their voters are progressives, and basically they're giving them the cold shoulder, except it's just say, send us money and vote for us, but fuck you, we won't do anything for you, and we'll just insult you, and you can't have your candidate ever win, even if they get the most votes, aka Bernie, not once but twice. Well, that's what Macron is doing. Macron ran as a man without a party. He was his own party. He created basically the Macron party for himself. And you know, that's the weird thing. Like in the post-war era, there used to be like these sort of reliable, the French Communist Party, the French Socialist Party, the Rally for the Republic, but these were, which was the Gaullist Party. But they were kind of like, they basically, you could sort of predict what things were going to be. Now every election has a whole new set of brand new, newfangled parties.
Yes,
and basically Macron, it's like l'état c'est moi. He's basically, it's Macronism, but what does it mean? And basically it's corporatist, it's dynamic, but it's corporatist and it's a dead end. So it's politics without ideology, which is driving the French left, middle, and center and right insane, because French politics has always been about ideology. I mean, France invented Western ideology. The left and the right is from the French Parliament during the Revolution. That's where they sat, right? So this whole thing has been toxic from the very beginning. I always knew it would end in tears, but I didn't know how. And now we're seeing it. And so, you know, I mean, Macron's coming up to the end of his presidency. He's going to be termed out. And anyway, he could never win re-election anyway. The person who's most likely to replace him out of rage would have been Le Pen. Who's, but the courts have said she's not allowed to run again, which is making the right absolutely fucking insane.
And may cause just enough French voters to rally around the right, not necessarily around the right-wing candidate, but around the right-wing party. It's called what, the National Front or something like that?
Yeah, it used to be the National Front. Now it's the Rally for the Republic.
That's right, Rally for the Republic. That I could see them actually being able to govern. Maybe
they can govern her. It'll just won't be her, but it'll be her protege.
Right. That's right.
It's kind of like an Ayn Rand kind of vibe with him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but I don't know if anything's going on like that. But she's probably too smart for that. But I got to say, so what really, in the last election, you know, Macron stole the election from the left. Yeah. All the leftist parties got together and formed something called the New Popular Front, harkening back to 1936 and the Léon Blum government, which was the first socialist president of France. And basically, let's get together. They won. Okay, so they won the parliamentary election, but basically Macron refused to allow them to form a government and invited Bayrou, who's this sort of like, who the fuck are you, from like the center right, I think is how I would put it, the right, center right, to come in and form a government. Well, basically, he's as if Hillary Clinton had become president. And so everyone's just pissed off. The left, the right. I mean, basically, the far left France has polarized politics like we do. The far left is frozen out. The far right is frozen out by the courts. Yeah. Everyone's been cheated. Yeah. The center doesn't have anything to offer except austerity. Yeah, yep. Gee, I wonder why people are pissed.
That's right. Oh my God. So, yeah, France is in trouble.
They are.
It really is.
And it's like everyone could see it coming. Also, Ted, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Ted, do ethnic Arabs who have become French citizens vote? And if so, do they vote as a bloc, and for whom?
they do vote, not as a bloc.
Not as a bloc.
No, they do not. It's ethnic voting isn't really a thing in France. It's sort of like the Latino vote here. It can go anyway.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
And there's a lot of ethnic Arabs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's also a lot of second, third, fourth generation illegal immigrants because they don't have birthright citizenship. So, if you came over here from like West Africa, over here to France, I'm already out of here. It's like if they if they came over 30, 60 years ago, you might your parents might have lived and died illegal, and then you're born, you live and die illegal. Your kids, same thing. It's really
crazy.
The only thing worse than birthright citizenship is no birthright citizenship. So also in France, the French government is at odds with U.S. Ambassador Charles Kushner.
Oh boy, are they?
Over the accusation.
He stepped in it though.
He told the French, "You guys aren't doing enough about anti-Semitism," and then the French drag out some law where basically it's basically like lèse majesté. You're insulting the glory of the French state. You can't accuse us of that. You're actually breaking French law.
He is. In addition to breaking diplomatic protocol, you may not comment on an internal political issue.
Domestic issues.
Yeah, it's
bad form.
Oh yeah, it's like prohibited in international diplomacy. It's interfering in the internal affairs of a foreign country is what it's called.
And the French, again, I think would argue, having invented not just Western ideology, they invented modern diplomacy as we know it too. So they take it very seriously.
Yeah, they do. You can't do that. If they wanted to, and they don't want to pick a fight with Trump right now. They have too much on their plate. But if they wanted to, they could expel him.
What nonsense is Kushner breaking laws? The shock. So great. Yeah.
That's right. He does right. Maybe Charles Kushner will hire a prostitute for them to try to blackmail. Because that's what he did. He hired a prostitute to try to blackmail his ex-brother-in-law, and he got caught.
Well, they have very cute prostitutes in France. When I was 10, my mom and I were very poor. My mom took me to France. We stayed in Paris. My mom hadn't made any hotel reservations. So we ended up in this hotel in Pigalle. And so we soon discovered that ladies of the night frequented this hotel. And my mom was completely outraged. And she freaked out. And she was kind of like, "Can't you get them to leave?" to the front desk. And I was like, "Madame, that's the whole business here." I later told my mom, I bet honestly, the ladies of the night are some of the cleanest people, really. They do like to keep a clean house, but it was just so great. All right. Well, so funny. Okay. Let's see. What do we got to go? The DNC. I love this story. So the Democratic National Committee, my favorite bête noire, I hate them so much. Anyway, they apparently made a secret handshake deal with Kamala Harris. They said, if you have any debts at the end of your campaign, don't worry, we will pick up the tab. So they picked up over $20 million in outstanding bills. Now, here's the thing, that's fine, but they lied to their donors. They told the small donors, "Hey, send in donations so we can fight Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Fight the GOP fascist machine. Send your donations." So people who were sending in, like my mom would have been doing if she were still alive, sending in $20, $50, $100. All that money wasn't going to fight Donald Trump. It was actually going to pay off Kamala's debts. And so basically just to make her look good. And meanwhile, at the same time, that money that they were giving to Kamala, they don't really have because they're broke compared to the Republicans. They got no money. So they're not set at all for 2026, much less 2028. So, I mean, basically their corruption is helping to cost them elections.
Did you see the reports from Friday.
And that's a good question. What nonsense? How did she blow $1 billion?
How do you blow $1 billion in a window of time, this long? Did you see the story from Friday that that Democratic registrations are down 20% in the last 6 years? 20%, including in all 7 battleground states. And it was either the Times or the Journal said on Saturday that the Democrats just can't win. If you look at the Electoral College and the number of people that are running away from the Democratic Party, the Democrats cannot win in 2028. They're just hemorrhaging money and members and supporters, and they have no idea what to do about it.
That is, I mean, it's catastrophic.
It is.
Wow. I guess I should ask producer Robbie. Do we have if we have an ad in the Rumble studio,
right.
let me know and I'll read that. In the meantime, let me play a very quick ad for a gaming platform, and then we'll be right back. We'll just get right to that. Here we go. 10 seconds.
That was cool. That was cool.
Putin bot gaming there. Hey, Robbie.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
There's Robbie.
All right, Robbie. There goes Robbie. Okay. So we have some questions over on the Rumble feed, which Robbie's been running here. Oh, here's the ad. All right, quick pause to tell you about Pickaxe, the creator and user-first platform built for people, not algorithms. You know what big tech is up to: data mining, bot-driven feeds, black box AI, deciding who sees your work. Instead, Pickaxe hands you an algorithm-free chronological feed with native Rumble playback, auto-publishing of your live streams, free blue check verification, and full monetization control. Your voice, your rules. Best of all, the web version is live right now, and their iOS and Android apps drop next month. On Pickaxe, your Rumble videos play seamlessly right in your feed as if they were built into the platform. No embeds, no workarounds, just smooth native playback. Even better, in beta now, creators can connect their Rumble channel to Pickaxe to automatically post live streams and videos so your followers never miss a moment. You can also write full articles. I've done it directly on Pickaxe today. And later this year, you'll be able to blast them out as email newsletters with one click and build up your own email list for direct audience access. Monetize on your terms through paywalls, revenue sharing, or affiliate ads that auto-insert promo codes and tracking links. And because bots shouldn't steal your spotlight, Pickaxe hands you a free blue check so everyone knows it's really you. Pickaxe is building tech that builds up humanity, algorithm-free, noise-free, human-first. Head to pickaxe.com, sign up, and take your platform to the next level. Real voices, deserve a real home. Okay, so some questions over on the that we should get to over in the Rumble feed. P Doggy Dog 92 wants to know: would they let Candace Owen run against him? I guess that would be Bayrou. Do CIA and then DeProgram show fan? Do CIA guys ever move between the CIA and the State Department? Well, I like that question.
That's a good question. Legitimately, yeah, occasionally. Illegitimately, of course, constantly, because most people are going to have State Department cover and they're going to work out of U.S. embassies. I made a legitimate transfer to the State Department. I did it twice. I was the economic officer at the American Embassy in Manama, Bahrain for 2 years. So I was transferred over to the State Department, was a State Department officer, had nothing to do with the CIA for those 2 years. And then later on, I was asked to fill in for 6 months as the Iraq desk officer, and proud to say that I was a co-author of United Nations Security Council Resolution 986. But yeah, that happens with frequency. Most of the time it's fake. But the thing is that there's an internal rule at the CIA that in order to be promoted to the senior intelligence service, you have to do a rotation into a policy organization like state, NSC, or DOD. And you have to do a rotation in one of the CIA's other directorates. And so everybody gets those 2 assignments done, and they're eligible for a promotion.
There's a question in the chat for me. Are you familiar with the GUD? Some former members are now in the French government. If that's true, that's absolutely horrid. So the GUD is a far-right student organization going back to the 1960s. They have ties to soccer hooliganism, neo-Nazis. They're basically just like the worst possible people. It stands for Union Defensive Group would be the best way to translate it. Groupe Union Défense, GUD, and it basically goes back to the 60s, and they kind of got relaunched about 3-4 years ago at sort of some of the elite schools like the École Normale, and they have a Greek connection. They're really into Golden Dawn and people like that.
Yeah, that's bad.
And so they have like slogans like Europe, Youth Revolution. And anyway, these are like basically anti-communist, neo-fascist, not highly nationalistic in a very sort of 1939 kind of way. It's beyond Pétainiste, I would say. These are really the scum of the scum.
Right.
And it's like, frankly, I think it should be disqualifying for any member to become a member of government at all, unless you did a full-fledged public renouncement, where you're just like, I'm not, I hate them now, and here's why. I think everyone's redeemable, but like you can't just be a member of that and then migrate into government like nothing's happened, I would say.
In Greece, they had this party called Golden Dawn, Chrysiavgi, it's called. And it started off just as an anti-immigrant party, and not just anti-immigrant, but like, advocating killing the immigrants, that kind of thing. And it morphed into a neo-Nazi party to the point where they even adopted a stylized swastika on their flag. And the Greek government, being very sensitive to right-wing extremism, having lived under Nazi occupation for 4 years, where they literally wiped out the Jewish population, and then 7 years, they call it the 7-year nightmare is what it translates into. That was the military dictatorship. It was a right-wing dictatorship supported by the United States and the UK. So they're very sensitive. So
Americans don't know about that, like Greece and Portugal had like military dictatorships.
Brutal dictatorships. And Brazil.
Fairly recently.
Yeah, fairly recently. Brazil, Spain. So what they did in the 50s, they passed this law criminalizing hate speech, right? Well, what bigger hater is there than a Nazi, that wiped out half the population of the country and carried out these mass murders where, for example, if a bridge was blown up by the rebels during the Second World War, the Nazis would go to the nearest village and just kill everybody in the village. And so Greece commemorates these massacres each year. So anyway, they had this law criminalizing hate speech. So Golden Dawn elects 6 members to the parliament. The spokesman is particularly odious and hate-filled, takes a swing at one of the socialist MPs on the floor. The government shuts the party down, arrests all of its elected members, tries them for hate speech, and sentences them to 20 years in prison. You get less time for murder in Greece.
Wow.
Than these guys got for being neo-Nazis. And here we are, 8, 9, 10 years later, they're all still in prison. So Golden Dawn no longer exists. There's a new nascent right-wing party, extreme right-wing party, that sort of tries to cover itself by calling itself a fundamentalist Orthodox party. And then the church is like, we want nothing to do with these people.
Yeah, we don't know you at all.
That's right.
Question.
Wow. Yeah.
We have a question from thank you for the generous $20 donation there, Soden2324. Hey, John and Ted, do you think Maduro is on his last leg with so many U.S. Navy ships at Venezuela's doorstep?
Yeah.
And do you think Guyana, with its newfound oil, will be a staging area?
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
I like that second part.
That's a very sophisticated question.
It is.
You want to take a first stab at it? I have some thoughts, but go right ahead.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'll just say, in terms of the first part, no, I don't think. One thing is, by the way, Dux Y says, I think Venezuela is geopolitically irrelevant, though Maduro will shake it off.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Except it's still, I mean, the biggest energy producer in the Western Hemisphere. So,
and you know who buys
all their oil? OPEC. We always forget about that.
It's a member of OPEC. You know who buys all their oil? We do.
Yes, we do.
That's why we have specialized refineries in Texas, because
CITGO is state Venezuelan
exactly
oil.
Venezuelan oil is so dirty. It has such a high sulfur content that you have to have a specialized refinery to clean the sulfur out of it. And those refineries, until recently, were only in Texas. Now the Chinese have built one in the Caribbean, but we buy all that oil.
So Guyana's got, now, John, you can flesh this out for me, but Guyana's had a longstanding border dispute with Venezuela.
Yeah.
And that's heated up in the last year or two.
And the oil is on the border.
Well, that's why it's really important, right?
Yeah.
So, you could easily, this would be like a time-honored American, I hate to say it, your former employer's kind of shindig, which is to say, hey, hey, Guyanese, we'll support you against your Venezuelan enemies, but we might need a port, right? Or we might need to, right. we might need some favors,
and
right?
The Guyanese are
like that. It's kind of like the Godfather. Now,
yes.
This day may never come.
That's right.
Like that.
The Guyanese are solidly pro-American.
Mm-hmm.
Maduro is a thorn in Trump's side, or in Biden's or Obama's or Bush's or whomever. Not
same
Bush,
difference.
Same difference. What gives me pause, though, is I think that Donald Trump really believes that he has a chance at the Nobel Peace Prize. And sending ships a couple of months ago in the direction of Venezuela is one thing. Actually attacking Venezuela and overthrowing the government is another thing. But I think that what Dux Y is alluding to, and what you're saying, is the more likely scenario. And that is that we send ships, maybe even troops, to Guyana. We help them secure the border. They're sitting on this ocean of oil that they only discovered in the last 5 or 6 years. And then we help them, develop their economy. We buy their oil. We put the stranglehold even tighter on Venezuela and just hope that somebody puts a bullet in Maduro's head.
Because it'd be like, hey, Guyana, we think you're really, really cute right now. Very cute. Adorable, even.
Well, as Manya says, Venezuela is actually known for its beautiful women.
They
true. Win Miss Universe like all the time.
Yeah, I had an editor friend who was a complete dog. And he used to go, like, whenever his wife was out of town, he'd go to Venezuela for like 2 weeks to go whoring. Oh, and he was like, God. You should come with me, Ted. They're like the best. He's like, you almost never get an STI. Tempting. So tempting. It's like he was El Puerco. So anyway, okay, so we have a question over from the Rumble feed from DeProgram Show Fan. Do y'all see Trump's executive order to ban burning the flag? Yes, we did. In fact, we came prepared to talk about it, John.
Oh, yes, we did.
So
the Supreme Court said in 1989 you could burn the flag. It's constitutionally protected free speech. Period. Done. In fact, that was, embarrassingly, one of George H.W. Bush's major campaign issues against Michael Dukakis in 1988. That and the Pledge of Allegiance, the two burning issues of the era, right?
Pun intended. Well, because,
right.
By the way, having been to more than my fair share of left-leaning political rallies and demonstrations, I've never seen an American flag burned.
Never.
Ever.
Nor have I.
Never. I'm not saying it's never happened. We know it's happened. But it's not like there's an epidemic. It's not like it's contributing to haze over Los Angeles. So basically, Trump passed this thing. He's like, everyone who does this will get 1 year in jail.
Yeah, can't do it.
The president of the United States cannot single-handedly impose any kind of criminal sentence, right?
No. Congress has to pass a law, and they can't because the Constitution has said, the Supreme Court has said they can't.
Now, that said, federal authorities have already arrested someone for this. So a 20-year-old combat vet set a flag on fire in Lafayette Square, right across the street from the White House, which is where all the demonstrations take place, to protest this. Obviously, to test it. He said that he did it because to protest an illegal fascist president. What's going to happen to him? I mean, he's going to walk, right? I mean, the Republicans say that they can justify this by saying it goes towards inciting violence, and that's against the law. So you can sort of, retrofit this executive order. I don't see how that works.
No. But this is vintage Trump. This is what he does. He knows that he can't do it. He does it anyway, and it's going to get hung up in the courts for God knows how long. And then in the meantime, he makes a couple of political points. He scores a couple of political points.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Kilmar Albreo Garcia.
Oh, this poor guy again. Yeah.
So the guy he's ordered released. He's released for a couple of days, gets to go home, see his family. He's got an electronic ankle bracelet attached. So certainly the government knows where he is. As part of the release, he agrees to go for a mandatory check-in with ICE. We all know where this is going. ICE tells him either consent to be deported to Costa Rica after you plead guilty and serve time here in prison for human trafficking. Then we'll send you to Costa Rica. The Costa Ricans promise not to hurt you. Why would they hurt him anyway?
Yeah.
They don't have anything against him. And Costa Rica, unlike El Salvador, doesn't have a fascist in charge. But either that or we'll send you to Uganda. He says, no, thanks. I have a wife and kids here in the United States. So they say, fine, off to Uganda. He goes to his ICE check-in. They're currently threatening to send him to Uganda. A judge has put it temporarily on hold until Friday. Is he going to be sent to Uganda?
Oh, he very well could be. Just like the seven undocumented aliens we have in custody in Djibouti, who have zero ties to South Sudan and are going to be expelled to South Sudan, literally the poorest and worst place on earth. So part of the policy is to encourage what the White House is calling self-deportations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just give up, get on a plane, and go back to wherever it was you came from. And if you don't do that, you'll be arrested, and we won't deport you to where you came from. We're going to make it particularly horrible, and we'll deport you to a place where you've never been, where you have no ties, where you don't speak the language.
I love the New York Times. They literally helpfully said, Uganda, where Spanish is not widely spoken. Really? Thank you, New York Times, paper of record. I never would have known that. I would have assumed.
Oh my God.
It's spoken by every superintendent I've ever had here in New York.
I bet.
But no, so yeah, that's the thing.
Not good at all.
It's legal for them to do this. It should be illegal. Congress should say you can't deport someone to a country to which they have no connection.
That's right.
I mean, that's extraordinary rendition.
That's exactly what it is.
That's not deportation.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. It's extraordinary rendition. Zero ties to these countries. No rights. No money, no passport, no nothing. So even if
you're basically just throwing people away. I mean, you might as well just kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Dina.
It's pretty nice.
Feels like we're living evil idiocracy. Yeah, totally true.
Crazy.
Here we have a question for you, John, from the Rumble feed. John, this is Oi matey, how you doing? John, do you think the CIA was involved in removing Gough Whitlam in the 1970s?
I do.
Okay, you want to?
I will admit.
I'm not familiar. Tell us about this story.
Oh, sure. I will admit that when I was at the agency, I didn't ever look it up. I didn't have access to whatever files may or may not have existed. It's just my own gut. The Australians were getting a little too independent for the CIA's liking in the 1970s. And the CIA was always far more comfortable with conservative politicians in Australia than with progressive ones. And so, when it looked like there was going to be a problem, in my view, the CIA, what's a nice way to say it, Ted? They overthrew the Australian government and installed their preferred candidate. That's really what it came down to.
Oh, they decided to coup him out.
Yeah, they pretty much did. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy how little blowback there's been for that kind of activity when you really think about it, because it's so extreme.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
Let's see here. Okay, so what nonsense. It's where Mamdani was born. Hakeem Jeffries mocked him about running to Africa while he was working for the people. What a tool.
I hate Hakeem Jeffries.
I do too. But I will say I'm a little bit, John, aren't you a little bit disappointed that Zohran Mamdani was not able to bench press 135?
I didn't see that.
I mean, I can.
I can too.
And I don't consider myself a stud.
No,
you've seen me. I'm not.
Nor am I, but I can do 135.
Yeah, wow. Really no problem at all. So it's like, what's up with that guy? I don't understand.
Oh, man.
But and also he missed a great joke opportunity when that happened, right? He should have said, well, Mayor Adams had a lot of practice picking up all the bribe money.
Oh, yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. He did miss.
All right, here we go. Oh, I like this question a lot. Do we think the CIA was involved in destabilizing de Gaulle?
De Gaulle was a pain in the ass for the CIA.
He thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Well, he was a pain in the ass to the U.S., right?
Yeah,
he threw NATO out of Paris.
Yes, he did. And they didn't rejoin. I mean, the political aspect remained unchanged, but they didn't rejoin the military part of the alliance until 1979.
Yeah. It looked like they were gone, daddy, gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, I always thought maybe, but I thought de Gaulle did such a good job of destabilizing himself. That maybe they didn't need. There was no. I bet the CIA might have just sat back and just eaten popcorn and watched.
Let him just destroy himself. Yeah.
I mean, he was so out of touch by the mid 1960s, and when he returned to power, and he was just literally the worst possible person to be the president of France by May, when there was the uprising at the Sorbonne in May 1968. He was. And he was the perfect foil for the students and for the unions.
Yeah.
They all hated him. And he just, there's a great story I read, though, about how when this was all going on, I think many Americans don't really know just how close to communist revolution France was in June.
With the student uprising. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, the whole country was on strike. There were barricades in the streets of Paris. The students were basically declaring a commune like it was 1870 all over again. And so at one point, I think was it Adenauer who was the prime minister of Germany, of West Germany at the time. At one point, de Gaulle was on the roof of some government ministry watching a crowd of students make their way at night through the streets. And he thought they were going to come towards Elysee Palace. And he was on the phone with Adenauer, basically arranging to go into exile. And the students sort of hesitated and went and made a turn instead of coming toward the Elysee. And he said, it's okay, they're not coming. And that turned out to be the pivotal moment. Like if the students had just gone straight, they would have overthrown the government of France.
Wow.
According to de Gaulle himself.
Incredible.
I mean, he was hanging by can you imagine the repercussions if France had gone communist in 1968? And it would have.
Incredible.
So let's see. I guess we're at the end of our.
Yeah.
Here we go. We should just say, I do want to say this. Mamdani has the has the typical Indian skinny fat physique. I love skinny fat. I first heard that in that show Weeds.
Yeah,
skinny fat. I never heard it. Exactly. I love any new term that as soon as you hear it the first time, you know what it means.
Yep.
To me, that's the test. All right, we'll answer this one last question, and then we'll leave the rest for tomorrow. At what point does Russia, China, Iran say enough is enough? It just crashes out. I guess I don't understand this question.
I'm not exactly sure what crashes out means, but I think that Russia, China, Iran, etc., being half the BRICS countries right off the bat, are headed toward an international realignment. Mm-hmm. As soon as they come up with a universally accepted currency, the U.S. empire's done. I really believe it.
Oh, I think that's true. I mean, it's on the ropes in a big way.
Cat's nice looking. Cats don't like me very much. Dogs love me. My sister's dogs get so happy, so excited when they see me that they piss themselves.
Really? Oh my God. Maybe they're just incontinent.
A cockapoo and a shih tzu. No, it's the only time. They just go completely nuts when I walk in.
I used to be like the opposite. Like all cats loved me. Like cats that would hiss at their own owners loved me. But dogs really didn't like me. But in my old age, dogs have started to like me. There's this.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like dogs. Me. Anyway, yeah. That's Clovis. Named after, I can't take credit. My son named him after the first king of France who brought Christianity to France. Anyway. All right. So we should pronounce ourselves deprogrammed for today. We'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Please like, follow, and share the show. And let's see. I think I think I excitingly prepared a little outro video here.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if it's ready to go here. There we go. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right. That was not a smooth introduction, but who cares? That's part of the charm. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Appreciate you. Thanks for the donations. You guys are awesome.